Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct here tonight, man. This is the Monday Night Blitz. I know it's Wednesday, but hey, we had to cancel Monday, so we're here on Wednesday. We got ECG in the building tonight. Join us. Dante's here with us tonight, man. But before we get it cracking, man, let's do a couple of things. Make sure you like, click, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the bells for the notifications. And those that's on the podcast side, y'all give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star review. Within the sound of my voice. Lovers or haters, let us know how we're doing, as you always do on all the platforms, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube's been kind of hot this week, so shout out to all those that's with us. Shout out to all those that's joining us tonight in the comments. Make sure you join us in the comments, man. Make the chat roll, make it pop tonight. Let's meet the crew. Let's meet Mike Mills. Mike, what's up tonight, bro? How are you tonight, sir? What's going on?
Greetings and salutations. Let's talk some football.
Are you ready for some football? Yeah, that'll give me a crowd. That'll give us my thing is not working. I'll fix it here in a second. But
let's talk about football.
Football. Mike, how you feeling tonight? How's everything going tonight, man?
I'm good. I'm ready.
All right, cool. D-Dubs, what's up, man? How are you tonight, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here, man. Glad we got Dante here to break down some of the National Football League, man. See what we got going on for this year, 2025.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. We're going to break down some football tonight. And last but not least, our guest tonight, Dante, what's going on tonight, sir? What's happening? How are you tonight, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. I can't complain. I'm still tired from all the traveling I've been doing the last 2 weeks, but hey, man, always down to talk some football for sure.
No doubt, yeah. Dante and the crew has been out in them streets, as they say, man. It was down there. Tell us a little bit, Dante, before we start the show tonight, what you've been doing, man.
Yeah, so I was 2 weeks ago. I was in Atlanta to watch the Falcons preseason game and to cover that, and then last week I flew down to Bradenton, Florida, right outside of Tampa, or right in between Tampa and Sarasota. For those that don't know, and there's a school down there called Manatee High School. We interviewed the star quarterback there, Logan Rodgers, a couple months ago. And I told him, I said, I'm coming down to watch you play St. John Bosco. And so they played the number 2 team in the country. They ended up getting beat pretty bad, which is all good. They lost a lot of players, but I kind of wanted to go down there and document not only the game, kind of see what the atmosphere is like, because I've never been a part of like a high school game that's supposed to be that big,
right?
But also to document him as a quarterback. He's got offers from Florida State, Florida, you name them, even Florida A&M offered him. He was down at the Elite 11, which I covered up here in Pennsylvania. Sora was down there in Florida, and that's how we got connected with him, is he was competing down there. He did Justin Jefferson's flight school, so he was one of the quarterbacks that was thrown down there for Justin Jefferson. So yeah, the kid's big time. Again, not a good showing of the full team effort there, but it doesn't mean that he's not a good quarterback. So, but yeah, I wanted to cover him, and yeah, everything turned out way better than I thought it was. Like, you always have that 2020 revision in your head. After you do something that big, you're like, oh man, I should have got this, I should have got that.
Right.
But it seemed like everything lined up kind of perfectly the way that I wanted it to be. So yeah, man, that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks.
That's it. Tell us a little bit about your documentary before we start also.
Yeah, so it's same thing. It's around that matchup, around him, just around the high school football atmosphere for a lot of people that have never been around it or never been around a matchup that big, kind of getting the inside of the locker room. Again, I focused a lot on Logan, so you get to hear about how he feels about not only his family but his teammates, some of his teammates feel about him leading up to the matchup. And then, it kind of sucked because their game got rained out with not only a heavy rain, but a lightning delay. I mean, you live in Florida, you know how crazy it could get. It just had to turn at a dime.
Right.
But yeah, just, kind of getting the reaction after that, at halftime, they're getting beat 31-0. So kind of getting his feel on what the coaches and what his teammates and everything were feeling after. But I wanted to just kind of be a kind of an appreciation piece of like high school sports,
right?
Are really the groundwork for a lot of people, and that we should be, to me personally, should be paying attention to it a little bit more. With the NIL and things like that, I think a lot of things get clouded as well. And then the process leading up to when they're getting to college, because now it's a different challenge for them now too. So kind of seeing their mentality from high school to college. I just want to kind of give that inside look. So hopefully this picks up steam, and maybe I get to go cover another quarterback at another high school or, a college or something like that. I think that would be really cool. So
Nice.
I just open many doors for that to happen later on. But yeah, that's what it's about, man. Hopefully everybody, checks it out and give me constructive criticism, because I've been doing like little things here and there on the channel, right? Like little. I know how to edit. I know how to shoot. I've shot weddings. I've done all of that, and this is kind of like a new venture for me. Is like, let's see what a documentary will look like. Let me put my skills to the test. But I think it turned out pretty good. One of my buddies that checked out a clip, he was like, "That seems like it should be on Netflix." So I was a one-man crew pretty much for the whole thing. So
that's what's up, man. It's premiere tonight, 9:00 on y'all YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, DJ. You were saying?
No, I'm saying just check out his channel, man. So you guys get a chance to check out
the East Coast Gridiron channel, man. ECG, man. So tonight, man, we're gonna talk some football, man. They've been on the last 2 years. We previewed the 2025 season. I kind of thought of this going into this show tonight. Kind of changes up a little bit. Talk about some of the matchups and the quarterback matchups for the season instead of just going down the list. I thought this would be pretty fun, and I know these guys, they've been doing that probably since July. So to give them a break, and let's talk about some of the matchups, man. So my first matchup I got on tap here is the Sunday night game. Mike Mills, your team is involved here. The Ravens and the Bills, week 1. Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson, man. Dante, what you think about this matchup going for week 1, Sunday night football?
I think the narrative has been with these two teams is that one of them probably should have won a Super Bowl over the last couple of years, right? So
one of them.
maybe kind of looking at a matchup of, the AFC favorites, I think, right now in everybody's mind. Outside, I mean, you can include the Chiefs, but the Chiefs didn't look too hot against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think this is the year that they might not make it as far because their division just got a lot better with the Chargers and the Broncos. The Broncos is a team that I think can make it all the way to the Super Bowl this year, but my Super Bowl favorite is the Ravens this year. So we get a little bit of a preview, not only of what Josh Allen looks like with what he's got going on out there with, Keon Coleman and the rest of those guys who are supposed to step up to the plate, what that defense is going to look like. But most importantly, a Ravens defense that just improved in the offseason and the draft. And today I was happy to see that my boy Jay Higgins, who went undrafted, made the roster for them. I was super excited about that. He should have been drafted. Like, I don't know why people missed out on that, but I think this is one of those sloppy first week games where people are trying to fill it out, where the Ravens don't look like the Ravens, the Bills don't look like the Bills, and then the fourth quarter just becomes like, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen starts kicking it up a gear. This is one of those games that I think could go into overtime real quick before our eyes. Like, it's sloppy through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, we're looking at a 14-14 score, and then going into overtime, and Josh Allen loses another overtime battle against the better quarterback, in my opinion, the guy that should have won MVP. I have no idea how the NFL screwed that up last year. But,
I agree.
But Lamar Jackson should have been a 3-time MVP.
The guy that was an MVP, MVP, and should have been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, in my opinion. But
Mike Mills, your team, the Ravens.
I mean, y'all hit the nail on the head. I mean, Lamar didn't win MVP because we lost a lot of games because our defense was real bad early last year. But I think we a year removed from that, and then Zach Orr, he should be used to coaching them. They should be used to what he want by now. So I feel like our defense should look a lot better coming in. But, in this day and age, they don't really play in the preseason, so it's going to be sloppy, of course. But I think we should beat Buffalo. Normally, we give Josh Allen a hard time in the regular season. Even like 2 years ago, we was giving them a hard time, and then they came back because our defense was sloppy and blew a tie at the end. So I think this would be a good first week game. Wasn't Lamar the MVP the year before? So what, the last 2 MVPs?
Got to check it. I'm not sure.
But
it was Josh Allen last year, and then the year before that was Lamar.
Correct.
Yeah. So the last 2 MVPs facing off, so it should be a good first game. I'm excited.
All right, cool. Let's move on to another week 1 game that I kind of put on the tally here. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Jesus.
Dallas is known this preseason, I guess, for 2 things: Micah Parsons and their documentary on Netflix, which I've been watching. If you watch, it's pretty much nothing new. It's what Jerry Jones has been since he's been with the when he bought the team back in the early 90s, and in the late 80s. So, your thoughts on this matchup, Dante?
Yeah, I'm higher on the Dallas Cowboys this year than probably everybody. I think they're really going to throw a curveball and finally get themselves together with Brian Schottenheimer. And the way that they drafted, I think that they had the best draft by far. Now, the thing is we heard the news today of Siobhan Revelle still not being able to be available. You know how I feel about him, Kev. Like, interviewing your nephew Omar Rodgers, and I was talking about him. So everybody knows how I feel about Siobhan, but seems like he, tweaked his knee yet again. He's going to be out for a couple more weeks, at least. But with that being said, I still think that they'll have a decent squad. I don't think they're going to be able to put it together this early, though. I really think the Eagles are my other favorite for the NFC. So I think it's going to be a Ravens-Eagles Super Bowl this year with the Ravens winning. But yeah, I think the Eagles are going to do what the Eagles do, man. The offseason this year for them, how do people just keep allowing them
to get people?
Allow Howie Roseman to be the bully at the school that's taking people's lunch money
with no mask on, bare face, and they know it's him every time.
Yeah,
give me that.
Yeah, it's not.
If you play sliding on the draft board, they go, you know what? Nah, the Eagles coming. Let the Eagles have that. What?
Around here, they call him Ski Mask Howie. Ain't no ski mask anymore. But you know exactly who it is. He's not hiding his face and just like he's there. Yeah.
So
Shiesty mask. Yeah. The Eagles, man, I tell you, the Eagles been getting it.
Yeah, I don't think I think even more so after that Super Bowl win, knowing that they could win it with the team that they had, they're going to be even more confident this year. And sometimes teams get unmotivated and sometimes get super motivated by a Super Bowl win and just want to go in there and say, we're not done yet. They have such a young team and such.
That's what I was about to say. They're very young. So I don't know if they unmotivated just that quickly. It might take a minute, but being that young, I don't know. That they might have a lot more motivation than anything.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think this year they're even more motivated to win than they were last year, which is kind of like saying that is kind of stupid. But I think once you taste it, you know that your team has the capabilities to get there again. And now everybody wants to see your downfall the second year. Oh, that first year was a fluke. You guys played the Chiefs when they didn't have Rashee Rice and all of that.
They can say what they want, but that wasn't no fluke. They smacked Kansas City around. Not just.
They were supposed to beat them the first time.
Yeah, they around. But go ahead.
And the thing was with that win is Saquon had one of his worst games of the year in the Super Bowl, and it was Jalen Hurts' time to step up. And so that just adds like a different dynamic to everything. It's like you feel confident if one person is not playing up to where they were, the other person is going to come in and smash you too. And then that defense is just, when they get traded for Ja'Cory Bennett and stole pretty much the Raiders' best defensive player outside of Max Crosby, I just laughed. Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to probably win by 4 scores this game. I think you might see Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley come out in the fourth quarter. Like, they're going to pull their starters. It's going to be like a college game.
Hey, God. DA, what's up, man? How are you tonight? Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We all good. He's all right. Yeah, he's right. Eagles probably the best team in the NFC. So they have the best lines on average on both sides, and that's where you build the team inside out. And their secondary is very serious, and they won the Super Bowl with dudes not playing all of last season. So, yeah, it's going to be a little scary.
Got you. Let me move on to another game. I picked this game for 2 reasons. It's also a week 1 matchup. I picked it one because you got a quarterback who I don't think he's gotten enough support, and you got the new guy coming into the league. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dante, this is a team that you root for, the Panthers versus the Jaguars. Your thoughts on that week 1 matchup?
There's a common theme on my channel of like, oh, you're just a hater on other teams. Look, if I'm hating on your team, you definitely need to know that I'm gonna be brutally honest about mine. And I've been brutally honest about the Jaguars for years. I don't know why Seth Hennigan is on the practice squad. The decisions that they make is like insane to me, and why we pay Trevor Lawrence all that money. Oof. With that being said, the way that the Panthers look, not only on defense, I hope Nick Scorton gets better for whatever happened. I don't know if you guys heard about that with his lung situation, and it's probably a collapsed lung, and he's a rookie. But I think they'll be all right. I think their defense is the weakest part, but the Jaguars are not threatening any defense this year, in my opinion. I think their team is going to find their identity this year. Bryce Young has got Tedero, McMillan.
Yep.
To be honest, if you guys saw the first game of Arizona last year where Tedero McMillan had like close to 200 yards and a couple touchdowns, he might do the same against the Jaguars with Bryce Young. I think Bryce and him are going to have a really big day, and a lot of teams are going to look like, why didn't we draft Tedero McMillan? This is insane. I don't think this one's going to be particularly close either. I think it'll be sloppy in like the first quarter while they're trying to like figure each other out. Because the Jaguars are intriguing on defense, but I mean, what can Josh Hines Allen do? You know, he's going to be there by himself. Is Travis Hunter, what are they going to do with him? That's going to be the spectacle of the week, right? It's like, how many snaps is this kid going to play?
The season. They're going to be back and forth with this guy. This guy going to want to play both sides of the ball. And as we've been watching football for quite some time, we've never seen that, and it never turns out good for a person that, you know, who tries it. So you usually try to pick one.
Mark my words on it. This is going to be the season where the NFLPA is going to step in, and there's going to be a big discussion around how many snaps can somebody actually play for the health of the player. As the union, right? Like, they're going to come in and protect their guy. I keep telling people this. And if the conversation happens in the offseason, just like the tush push happened,
right?
The big discussion is, because there's a couple kids in college right now that are playing 2 ways. There's a kid in Minnesota that's doing the same thing. And so he's opened up the floodgates for that. But like I told people, Travis Hunter has never been the healthiest cat year to year either.
Yep.
So, and he's playing against the big boys. One hit from Derek Brown. I know he plays defensive tackle, but they're going to try something stupid, like give him like an end around or something like that. And Derek Brown's going to clean his clock. And I'm going to just sit there and laugh. Like,
Travis don't look that, he doesn't look like he's that heavy. You know what I'm saying? He looks very light. You're right.
He should be playing corner. He shouldn't
absolutely
be
right.
playing receiver. He
There's
should
no
be
way in
playing
the world.
corner to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the person. There's two receivers in college that gave Travis Hunter problems. It was Alec Ayomanor from Stanford, and he plays for Tennessee, which he's playing Travis Hunter twice a year. And the first game of the season against Tedero McMillan. Yeah, he's gonna give him crazy work yet again. So I'm looking forward to us getting our crap pushed in yet again. So I think Carolina wins this game, obviously.
Gotcha. Yeah. DA, did you have anything? I couldn't hear you. Oh, you good? Oh, can't hear the DA. All right, let me move on to another week 1 matchup. This one is obvious why I picked this one. The Steelers versus the Jets. Old man Aaron Rodgers is facing his team that he was with practically a little bit 2 years. Well, one if you count the 1 year that he played, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on this one, Dante?
Yeah, so I mean, you actually have two quarterbacks that flip-flop teams, right? Justin Fields went to the Jets. I think the Jets are going to surprise people, man. I think Justin Fields looks more comfortable with this team, is with his best friend, which I don't care what anybody says. It's like starting a new job, right? When you start a new job, you don't know anybody, you get a little hesitant of like, this is going to be a tough 2 weeks until I start to get to know people.
Right.
If you go into a job knowing somebody is already there with you, it's a little easier to feel comfortable. Right. And I think the way that they built their offensive line, I know they have kind of a running back controversy between Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. I think they'll figure it out. Their defense, everybody knows, could be the number 1 defense in the league if they put it all together. But I think Justin Fields right now, with Aaron Glenn's back there. I don't know if you guys seen like his press conferences. Like he gets all emotional being back with the Jets, and I think he actually cares. You know what I'm saying? This is not like he wants to be the coach that turns them around, and actually has had, a little bit of history with them. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be as bad as what I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be as bad, but as a whole, Pittsburgh as a whole, I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be as good as what people think that they're going to be. Their defense will still be awesome. I wouldn't have drafted Caleb Johnson in the draft. I mean, I don't see what. Have we heard anything about Caleb Johnson, gentlemen?
No. That'll be a no.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about him, right? And so you trade away Najee Harris to draft his replacement, and we haven't even talked about him at all. So I think the Jets, them playing at home definitely gives them an advantage. And I think, Justin Fields comes out. He starts every season kind of like the first couple of games. Remember the slide in the rain with the Bears, and they, you know what I'm saying? Like he always starts out really, really good. Even with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was 4-2 last year, led the team in rushing touchdowns. Then they switched Russell Wilson in when my guy was above 500. I never understand that. So I can tell you right now, from the Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, from like my wife's a Steelers fan, diehard Steelers fan, her whole family is, and they hated the fact that Justin Fields is on the Jets right now. They think he should have been a Pittsburgh Steeler. So, and I'm sure he feels the same way. Like he said many, many times that like he would love to be a Steeler for life. Well, that didn't happen, and now you trade him with his best friend and Garrett Wilson, and they might do the same thing that Bryce and Tedero McMillan might do against Jacksonville.
I'm gonna tell you this. I remember Aaron Glenn playing with the Jets when I was in New York, and I'm not a Jets fan, obviously, but I remember the intensity that he brought. And you're absolutely right. Even when it has him being the D coordinator in Detroit, and him coming, even his first, if you listen to his first press conference when they first got there, man,
yeah,
he kind of was convinced that I'm about to turn this around. He said, this shenanigans has to stop right now. So he's been very, very a matter of fact. He's been very he's been very intentional with some of his moves and how he's moving about. And I think, like you said, Dante, I think the Jets are going to absolutely turn this thing around. D-Dubs, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to say, who's this? Who would this be an indictment on if Justin Fields go out there and balls out? is this a bad look on Tomlinson?
No.
I mean, we already know what Mike Tomlin is. So, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chicago.
the fact that they got rid of him, you know what I'm saying? And, you're looking for a quarterback, then you go get a 40-year-old quarterback. And you had a young quarterback there. That's what I'm saying. Is it an indictment on him for not coaching up Justin Fields or, getting him prepared?
Let's think about it like this. The only quarterback controversy that Mike Tomlin had, and it wasn't even a controversy. If you think back, it was between Charlie Batch and Ben Roethlisberger. And then once Ben Roethlisberger proved to be the guy, they never went, they never had to go back until Ben got hurt here and there, right? And so it was kind of like just an installment to you Charlie, you got to come in for this game while Ben Hill's up. Like, they were okay with that, but they knew who their guy was. All these years, how many times have we seen 9-6, 10-7, 9-6, 9-6, 9-6, like for so long? And now, or I'm sorry, 9-7 for so long. Mike has never had to deal with a quarterback controversy until Russ got there and Justin got there. And then before that, you choose the wrong guy and Kenny Pickett. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then before that, it was Duck Hodges and
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. He just have anybody back there. So we already know what he is as a quarterback picker. Pick the right
I think we need to start talking about Mike Tomlin's legacy as, how people say Bill Belichick and, Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. I don't think that's the case sometimes, but what the real conversation, moving forward, did Ben Roethlisberger make Mike Tomlin?
No.
Wow.
Nah.
No.
No. I mean, that's something to look at, man. I mean, it's a question.
That wasn't that good, D.
No, D, but hear what he's saying. I mean, that's something to throw.
I know what he's saying. I mean, but
and then you look at the guy. You look at the guy. He hasn't picked a quarterback. I mean, this guy.
Hey, but
but the results are about the same, isn't it? They wasn't world beaters with Ben. They had like maybe one or two amazing records. Like they had the 15-1, and I think they had another one that was like 12, 13 wins. But they wasn't world beaters every year with Ben, and they still damn near the same record. We getting 9 and 10 wins with nobody.
Good point.
It's Super Bowl year, and that defense is super. So yeah, I can't put that on Mike. And I'm not even a Steelers fan, but I think
I got you. But saying that, you have to say the fans are tired of 9-7.
Well, they bugging. The fans are bugging because
they're spoiled.
They're bugging because head coaches just don't grow on trees. And that not having a winning season every year, I mean, look at all the teams that would rather have that.
I don't know. I think the best game that they play every single year is against the Ravens. And if that's the best two games that you play, the most competitive games that you play every single year, I don't think you're that good of a team, in my opinion.
Listen, I'm not saying that they're the best, but what I'm saying, Dante, is they're still better than a lot of other teams that are under 500 every year. That's all I'm saying. You can wish for one thing, but then you get something else. It's like, whoa, I wish I had that. That's all.
Well, when you got to play the Bengals, who are very offensive heavy, that makes it easier. And the Browns suck every year too. So it's like,
man, but Dante, all I'm saying is, and you are the football expert, but no one was throwing that energy out there when it was the Patriots, the Jets, bad Buffalo team, and a bad Dolphins team, except for 2 seasons where the Dolphins were pretty good. Hey, you take what you can get and you win. That's what they do. If your division ain't no good, hey, and if Cincinnati ain't no good, Cincinnati's fault. They got the same budget everybody else has. Now, they don't want to spend it, fine. They want to misallocate it, fine. I'm not saying that this team is going to be super good this year. I'm just saying I guess the calculated risk would be that, hey, maybe we get a few more throws out of Aaron that we didn't get out of those dudes last year. That's all. I mean, they'll run the ball and play good defense. At least I would assume That's what they hope they're going to do this year. Now it may not happen.
Yeah, with the no running back. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because
Yeah,
Warren's still there, right?
They got with Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
he was
Warren's
taking Najee
good.
carries last year.
Yeah, I like Jalen Warren. He's serious business, man. So
the one thing that I'll counter with that is like, I'll say this, like when you win, the schedule makers want to make more interesting matchups, right? Like there'll be no way in hell that the Eagles are playing the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football unless they won a Super Bowl. Like in my opinion, or a rival team. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning played each other 17 times in their career. Ben Roethlisberger played, and so I'll put it like this. Tom, you could say, yeah, he played the Jets and the Dolphins, but he played Peyton Manning 17 times, who is his rival, and he's 11-6 against Peyton Manning, versus Ben Roethlisberger, who played Peyton Manning, is 3-4. So I you know, if you can't beat Tom Brady, you got to beat Peyton Manning in the AFC.
Yeah, no, I'm not totally in disagreement with you. I'm just saying within conference, you know, look, man, the Bengals are going to be the Bungles, man, and Cleveland's going to be Cleveland.
Browns going Brown.
I think you would be, as a coach, any team in that division, to not take advantage of the wins that you can get. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I wouldn't be mad at you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think, and I'm kind of like, over the years when people have been talking about, is Mike Tomlin overrated, right? I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of like on the I don't know stage, but then I look at, you know, to go back to Tom Brady or the Tom Brady Peyton Manning thing.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that Ben lost to the most in the playoffs was Peyton Manning. He's 0-3. So how you couldn't beat one guy for 3 straight times and got your ass kicked? So is Mike Tomlin really, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at like head-to-head matchups like that. You couldn't beat the Steelers, or you couldn't beat the Colts, you know, when they've had some pretty bad defenses at points.
I feel like Mike Tomlin is exactly who he is. Like, he's not like the greatest, but I feel like he's solid. Like, I feel like, I don't know, he's a standard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like Frank Gore. It's like, damn, he did win a lot of games. It don't be pretty, but it happens. You know, that's how I feel about him. And he got a ring.
He's Joe Paterno. That is Mike Tomlin. Joe Paterno was really good the first half of his career, right? The second half, as soon as he started to get old, it was 9-win, 8-win season. Oh, it's Joe. He's got this whole thing together until the scandal happened, and then Bill O'Brien comes in and turns that team around.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's Mike Tomlin. Nobody's gonna say he's a bad coach. Like, I think all of us up here know that Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but I think there's tiers, right? He's like a B tier all-time coach.
Yeah,
at the grand
B is
scheme of
fine.
things. Yeah, I'd have him. Well, you know, I'd take him any day.
Nah, I wouldn't. He could, you know.
Hey, I got one last question for you, Dante. What is this love affair with Aaron Rodgers and Tomlin all of a sudden? Is it just for media? Is it just, you know, some BS that they just throwing around, or, you know, or do they really have a relationship like that?
I think so. You know, I got to see 2 of their practices this year, and I think the whole narrative about Aaron Rodgers is completely overblown when it comes to what really matters, right? Like a lot of us talk about, oh yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a freaking weirdo. He does this. Everybody knows that, right? You do with your personal life and what you want to do with your personal life.
That's
but
right.
the thing is I've been trying to find people, and I ask this question all the time. Name me one teammate outside of what was his name? The receiver in Green Bay.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah. Donald Driver.
Donald Driver.
No, not Donald Driver.
No,
Greg Jennings.
Jennings.
Yeah.
He's on Fox now. Yeah.
Yeah. Name one receiver out, or name one teammate outside of Greg Jennings. And Greg Jennings was only mad because he wanted to get paid, and Green Bay didn't want to pay him, and he blamed it on Aaron, which that had nothing to do with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But name one teammate over the course of history that Aaron's been a part of, or any team that says that he's a bad teammate.
You're right, because let me tell you, when his first year, when he came to, now I didn't like Aaron because he just thought the smartest guy. You think he's the smartest guy in the room, but when the first year when he went to the Jets and he, got hurt. But prior to that preseason, he became this likable guy all of a sudden that, so to what you're saying, you're right on. You hit the nail on the head with that. With not too many people, his teammates, that don't really like him.
I'll tell you this about, and this is where I'm like, why do people hate Aaron? And to kind of answer your question, D-Dubs, is like, Aaron was down there on every single drill from the beginning of practice to the end of practice, both days. And technically some of those starters were getting rest days because they had like a big like open practice that both, the first, second team were practicing against each other. So Mike Tomlin's known to do that, like to set those guys. So like Jalen Ramsey shows up halfway through practice. TJ Watt's nowhere to be found. But Aaron Rodgers was down there standing with Coach Tomlin and those guys, giving pointers to the quarterbacks, like standing up watching them practice the whole time.
Right.
So I think that's where the respect for probably like a Mike or somebody like that comes into play. Because the previous year, when I watched Justin and Russell and the rest of those guys, they weren't doing that. They were on the bench playing with their kids or whatever the case may be. Aaron's sitting there cross arm helping those guys out, and I think that's why Mike's got a. I don't think it's a fluke, and I don't think it's a fluke that his teammates really like him too, because he, unlike Joe Flacco, who says, I'm not here to be your mentor. Aaron Rodgers has never really said, I'm not going to be your mentor. I'm gonna just kind of prove it to be just a good teammate. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks in the media. I'm like, I've never heard his teammates say anything bad about him. So I really don't have an opinion. I don't know Aaron like that.
Right. We'll move on. We did all that Steelers talk, and Dan is not with us tonight, man. So Dan, you missed us tonight, man. I'm pretty sure Dan would have had something to say on his Steelers. Let me move on to a game here. I'm sorry, I missed the game here. Chargers and Commanders. This is going to be a Week 5 matchup. Your thoughts on it? First of all, Herbert, does he have to get this done? Does he have to progress this year? Your thoughts? The Chargers.
I don't think that he has to do too much. I mean, I think Justin Herbert is one of the most overlooked, underrated quarterbacks in the league. And what a lot of people don't realize with him is, and we talked about this a couple months ago, me and Khalid were just going back and forth with it because we were defending the guy. A lot of people are like, he throws all these interceptions or he's not that good. Look at the history of quarterbacks in their first 6 years. He's like leading in every statistical category. Like he's having a phenomenal start to his career. And think about who his head coach was a couple years ago. Brandon Staley, right? And so that's one point. And the other point is there's a statistic that I like to pull up all the time, which is turnover-worthy plays, even in college. You have guys like Shedeur Sanders who will lead in it and get defended, but then you have guys that are bottom 5 every single year in turnover-worthy plays like Justin Herbert, and people say he turns the ball over a lot. So it's like, well, you can honestly just go and watch him play. Like some of the tip balls that happen, how's that his fault? The dude, I mean, you got Quentin Johnston on your team that just acts like he's playing volleyball when he's supposed to be playing, football here. But yeah, he's one of those quarterbacks that says that he's overrated, but he's really underrated and has played on a team that has been trying to find their identity. I think honestly, the Chargers are in the best spot to be second place in that division and knock off the Chiefs to the third place in that division. Like, I honestly think all 3 of those teams are going to make it, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, to the playoffs. I think the Raiders are definitely the worst team there.
Right.
But I don't think he has to do too much. Make it to a playoff and win a playoff game, and then everybody's going to stop yapping about is Justin Herbert overrated or not. I mean, I'm a Justin Herbert guy, so I think he's going to – Keandre Lambert-Smith being there, Trey Harris being there, Keenan Allen comes back.
Yep.
Why is he coming back if he didn't like Justin? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, correct.
I think he got his feet wet when he went to the Bears and saw like, this rookie quarterback and DJ Moore, that ain't my style. Let me go back to what I'm used to. At least least Justin to throw me the ball. And then, you know, Rondé Gatson coming over from Syracuse. Then you get Najee and Omarion Hampton. So now you got a really good backfield. Like, I think the one of the backfields that nobody's really talking about as much, but I think Omarion might be Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. Then they lose Joe Alt, right? But not Joe Alt. They lose Rashawn Slater. So Joe Alt's going from right tackle back to his natural position at left tackle. They got a lot of question marks, but I don't think Justin has to do too much. And he's not going to be asked to do a lot now because they got Omarion and Najee. Like, go out there and get us a couple third down conversions and stop throwing it to Quentin Johnston. Like, he's not that great. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell Justin that, but but yeah, I don't think he has to do too much, man. Win a playoff game this year, and I think everybody stops yapping about it.
And to your point, I think the philosophy of Coach Harbaugh, run the ball and play some defense, man. So, we'll see. DA, your thoughts on Justin Herbert? I know you had some thoughts.
Yeah, I think it'll work out year 2 because I think he has a more complementary supporting cast on offense. He doesn't have to do as much. He just can't get behind. They can't play from behind. They got to pick up the third downs when they need to get them and get 7s instead of 3s. Now, if they got to come back, it might be a little difficult because they're going to put the defense in a bad position. So, but I think they'll be fine.
Dark horse MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, so I will give them their props in year 2. All right, in year 2.
And your thoughts on Jayden Daniels, in that game in week 5.
Oh, Jayden should play well. He should be used to his team by then. Whatever additions they got by then, he should be ready. And again, he's always the guy, 3rd and 8. He can pick up 8 every now and again. He's not a runner, but he can run.
Yeah.
So, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he just can't get hurt. That's all. He just can't get hurt. But I think they'll run the ball a lot this year, too. So I don't think they're going to switch up. I don't think they're going to switch the game up at all. So,
Dante, your thoughts on Jayden Daniels and the Commanders during that game?
I think it was interesting that they traded away Brian Robinson, but I can understand why. I can't tell you, like, a couple years ago, I had Chris Rodriguez in my top 5 running backs, and it looks like he's going to be him and what's his name from Arizona that they drafted. Looks like they're going to be taking the mantle at running back this year, and Austin Eckler is going to be probably playing more of a gadget role. But Chris Rodriguez is a thumper, man. Had a really good preseason, and I'm super happy that now he's getting the reps that he deserves coming out of Kentucky. So, but I think that's going to help Jayden. I think having Zach Ertz there trying to still build up a guy like Ben Sinnott is going to be really good. I think Ben Sinnott said Sinnott. I even interviewed him. He said his name is Sinnott, not Sinnott. I can't get that switched in my brain. But Ben Sinnott is going to be the future at tight end for them. So that's going to be exciting to kind of see that transition with him and Zach Ertz. And then they get their weapon back, right? You get Terry McLaurin, which I've been trying to tell everybody, there's no way that Terry's not going to get re-signed. Let him get through this period.
Saw your tweet the other day, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way that he's not, that he's gonna go somewhere else. Like, he had just got married a couple months ago. I talked to an insider for the Commanders. He's like, he's been taking an extended honeymoon and things like that, just the way that it lined up. I mean, anybody here would want Terry McLaurin on their team, right? He's that good.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't going nowhere. So I mean, but
and it seems like this ownership is so much better than what they've had before. It's like a night and day difference. Like, people actually can walk in the owner's office and be like, "Hey, man, I got an issue with something." You see how happy Dan Quinn has been, and I would have thought somebody like, what's his name? Who's the offensive coordinator down there?
Oh, he
Kingsbury.
just
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I would have thought a guy like Cliff Kingsbury would have got up and walked and found an OC job somewhere, a head coaching job again somewhere, but seems like he's stuck another year behind to believe in their system, which ownership, coaching staff, players, they all have something to do with that, right? So Cliff I think is really the key that nobody talks about with Jayden too, and making him feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I mean, you look at it, right? Like I've had the running style quarterback with Kyler that I wanted since college. Like he wanted to recruit him out in Texas Tech. Remember that? Like he wanted him for a long time. Then got him with the Cardinals and felt like he failed him. Then you go to USC and you become an offensive assistant. Help Caleb Williams do what he did that last year. And then you get another promising quarterback and be an OC for that guy. So, yeah, man, I think they're just a well-oiled machine. A lot of people think that they're probably going to win the NFC East. I don't think they're quite there yet.
No,
as far as like their defensive prowess, I don't think anybody's competing with just. I mean, you think about Jalen Hurts, Saquon, AJ, Devontae Smith. You know, they just traded for what's his name? So, you know, you got 3 good receivers down there now. I don't see that happening. Jayden I don't think, you know, to be honest, I don't think Jayden, Bo, Michael Penix, who's the other guy?
Jayden,
Bo Nix, Michael Penix. There was another quarterback that got drafted in their class that's older too. I don't think any of those guys are taking a sophomore slump.
Really? Okay.
I think they all either do a little bit worse than what they did last year, just people having tape on them. But I don't think people are going to come out of this year and say, "Oh, all those guys suck." I think all of them are going to be like, "Yeah, those guys are still legit."
Yeah, I think sucking strong. I don't think it's going to be like that. But I don't know. I thought one of them is going to take a back seat because things change. It's par for the course, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I think all those quarterbacks are going to be good. I think Washington's going to be. I think Debo's going to add. I think they're going to be fine, man. I just don't think their defense is. I don't think that they can hang with a team like Philadelphia right now. So, and that's especially along the lines. So, because they got rid of some dudes. But I guess they had to because those guys were fighting on the sideline. So, we'll see what happens. But they should be fine. They should be absolutely fine. So, absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of which, let me go to one of these games. Be later on in the season. The Rams versus these 49ers. What's your thoughts, Dante, on the Rams and the 49ers in that division?
Man, it's probably the most interesting division in football this year, to be completely honest with you. Because you just don't know who's going to be good. In my opinion, it was one of the hardest. I think a lot of people have a lot of hopium on what the 49ers can be because Brock Purdy just got paid. I'm a Brock Purdy believer, so I don't. I actually love Brock Purdy. Like I think he's done really well with what he's been presented with in the situation that he's been in.
Hey Dante, I've been trying to tell somebody about Brock Purdy. They wasn't trying to hear me at all. Brock Purdy got paid that $50 million.
There's really nothing anyone could tell me tells me that Brock Purdy's a $50 million quarterback because he's not. So.
Here we go, Dante. Go ahead.
I'm not. Listen, he's my quarterback. I don't think he's that. I think everybody that plays on the pros is good. I just know he's on a $50 million quarterback. That's all. Now you can give me all the, the contract stuff, and I understand what you pay him now. It's better on the team later on. Yeah, I understand that, and I'm not going to say you wrong for that. But I watched Brock the whole time he was there. I don't think I've ever missed a Brock Purdy game. What I will tell you Brock don't do is when everything is not 100, and that maybe it's all quarterbacks. But when things are not 100% right, and everybody playing, you got, I think the percentage is 50-50 on the win.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Y'all can say what you want, and that might be for a lot of quarterbacks, right? But it's not for a lot of quarterbacks getting $50 million. You know, like, I'm gonna need you to pull a few games out of your hat, B. That all. Because we went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Just so you know, we were there. So, you know, so sometimes you're supposed to have a good team. And I believe that. Like, I don't think any quarterback wins games on their own, right? But you need to pull out something, you know. And I'm not saying win the game, but at least keep us somewhere. Don't throw the ball away. Not too many 3-and-outs. You know, we still need to get 7s instead of 3s. And even with injuries, you know, we're going to need something. And this year, he'll see this year. Because for $50 million, $50 million,
do you want a game manager, or do you want? I mean, if he's just a game manager, he's going.
No.
Don't you start?
No, sir. $50 million.
I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse.
$50 million.
You could do worse. You could have gave Daniel Jones $40 million.
Oh yeah,
do worse.
Facts. But what I'm saying is,
you know what I'm saying?
That for $50 million, there are expectations. That's all.
That's true.
That's all.
Dante, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that they looked at that team last year, man. They were injury riddled everywhere. And now they're going into another season, like trying to figure out who's going to be their number one receiver. It might be Ricky Pearsall. It might be Juwan Jennings. We have no idea. It might be Jalen Coker. They don't know yet. And so I look at Brock Purdy's situation last year. It's like, yeah, you played 15 games. You had the third highest, you know, average per throw, which is still good in this league. So he throws the ball downfield. I don't know. I don't know why people have such a, and I get the contract thing, right? Like, that's why I don't talk about contracts on our show, because it really, I don't care. I mean, whatever the team values you at, and that's what you guys agreed upon, I never look at another man's pocket, so I don't really care. The thing is like when it really comes down to it, the thing that I have a problem with is like Trevor Lawrence was the number one paid quarterback in the league, and he ain't done shit for us. So that's the only time where the money.
Because
yeah, I don't pocket watch, but I pocket watch when the results didn't show up. Like, how's the dude the number one number one highest paid quarterback for that short amount of time? It didn't make sense to me, but but yeah, I don't have a problem with Brock. I do think he's a top 15 quarterback, which is where you want to be when you talk about the upper echelon of guys, right? That's, you know, around 50% of all started quarterbacks. But the Rams, man, as much as I love Matthew Stafford, I think he's playing 1 year longer than he's actually supposed to.
Uh-oh.
And I think not the fact that I think he's a bad quarterback, like I still think he's top 2, top 3 best ball spinners in football right now. Him, Aaron Rodgers, and probably Pat, right? Had the most elite arms in the NFL. But I think his back is totally jacked up, man. I mean, this dude had a broken back a couple years ago, and his wife was like, "Don't play football no more." He's one bad hit away. He's one Fred Warner hit away from not being in the NFL anymore, and possibly being in a wheelchair if he doesn't watch himself. So, and I think all of us would hate to see Matthew Stafford go down. I mean, it's one thing like being a Warrior, right? But we have to consider this like being on the same scale of like Tua Tagovailoa getting all these concussions, and we all know how bad concussions are. But we need to look at the back injury with Matt Stafford almost in the same light. Like, you could be a paraplegic this year, and your wife told you that you didn't want. There's nothing else for. I think Matthew Stafford is like a 4th or 5th ballot Hall of Famer. I think all of us know that. Like if I'm looking at the resume, right? Like, I helped 2 wide receivers win triple crowns. I don't know how many quarterbacks can say that, right? Cooper Kupp and Megatron. They didn't throw the ball to themselves. He got a Super Bowl in the first year with a team, you know, in the Rams, and he's put up gaudy numbers over the years. So I think he's like fourth or fifth ballot. I don't think he's first, but he'll eventually get in.
He'll get in there eventually. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when I look at the Rams and the 49ers in this matchup, I think who's going to be, who's going to have the better running game and who's going to be the healthiest when it comes to the running game, because a lot of these guys are going to need help in both areas, right? And I might give it to the Rams.
They got better D line.
Their defense, their front seven is like
crazy,
insane. Yeah, it's insane. It's what the 49ers used to be, right?
Yeah, well, until we gave somebody $50 million, and then we couldn't sign Greenlaw, or we couldn't sign this one, and we couldn't sign that one. It's just it's the nature of the beast, fellas. That's all.
Oh my God, I don't even know what. Let me go on to the next game. This is a week 4 matchup. Excuse me, the Bengals versus the Broncos in Mile High. Dante, your thoughts, man, on Bo Nix and Coach Payton doing what they're doing out there for now?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Bo Nix, right? So we're not even going to talk about that. But the interesting thing about the Broncos is last year they lost 7 games. 6 of the 7 games that they lost were by 1 score or less. And so when I look at it, the only team that they got their ass kicked by was the Ravens. I think it was like a 42-10 loss.
Yes, sir.
And so people could talk about at the end of the season, like, oh, if you look at the combined records of all the teams, they really lost to bad teams. But then at the beginning of the season, I think it was like through their first 7 games, the strength of schedule for Bo Nix against teams was higher than Jayden Daniels. So I don't really look at that all too much, and because it could be both ways. Like we're just, we're in a fry measuring competition at this point. Like who cares? Right. But Bo Nix did what he was supposed to do. That they caught steam at the right moment. They made a playoff, and their team got better, and they got better in the areas that they struggled in. Right. Riley Moss got hurt last year, so Patrick Surtain had to step up double time. They were targeting him even more. Then he became
a bad man,
player of the year. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a bad.
And so, but when Riley Moss was in there with him, a lot of people started to forget about Cooper DeJean was the only white boy corner, right?
Right. Yeah.
They forgot that Riley Moss was the teammate of Cooper DeJean before Cooper DeJean was Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, they definitely have to me, one of the most well-balanced defenses in the league. So, they really don't let you get nothing. So,
you talk about that defensive line with Zach Allen. Nobody talks about Zach Allen like that, and he was one of the best defensive players last year. Then they go and they say, okay, I look at when I do my record predictions, I like to look at matchups like, okay, how is this team going to play here? And then also who's in their division. The Chiefs are going to eat you up in the middle of the field. That's what they've done. That's been their forte. West Coast, get the ball out real quick. And then once we eat you up in the middle of the field, throw it over the top to the fastest guy. Xavier Worthy is that guy now. It was Tyreek Hill in the past. And then they pound the rock too. Isaiah Pacheco wasn't there last year. So I try to think about like a full strength Chiefs team, a full strength Raiders team, a full strength Chargers team. How do the Broncos have to beat these guys? You're going to go get Dre Greenlaw. You're going to go get Talanoa Hufanga. Then you draft Jade Barron, who was the best two-way. He played nickel and safety at Texas.
Yeah.
If he wasn't your number 1 corner, he was definitely your number 2 on your board because you know the talent that guy had. And then you don't have to even worry about the rest of the front 7. Everybody knows, and Patrick Surtain and Riley Moss are going to be healthy. So I'm like, okay, they can beat any team in the country in the NFL. Defensive-wise, they can hold up with anybody. Then you look at their offense. They just got rid of Devon Vele. But who did they draft? They draft Pat Bryant, who I talked about was one of the best receivers in YAC in college last year, which is something that they didn't have. Like Cortland Sutton can burn you deep, but he's not going to get you a ton of YAC. The rest of those guys weren't going to get you a ton of YAC. Now you get a YAC receiver, which and it was crazy. I made a video on Pat Bryant, and then the next day, Sean Payton confirmed my suspicions because I compared Pat Bryant's production in college to what Michael Thomas was for the Saints. And I said, he's a Sean Payton weapon. The next day in the press conference, Sean Payton says, Pat Bryant is my Michael Thomas. I was like, that's crazy that you say that.
Wow.
But I think about it like that in the offense, right? And then the running backs. Everybody talks about Ashton Genty. The number 2 running back in the country last year that led in explosive plays was R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey gives them a different dynamic than what they've had at running back for one small reason. They weren't able to throw at the flats at all. They didn't have a receiver that could, or a running back that could catch really well. And that's where most of the explosive plays with R.J. Harvey at UCF happened was with the passing game. Bo Nix did that a lot in that West Coast spread offense with Will Stein at Oregon. And Sean Payton is meshing all those things together. Then they go and get Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram was hurt last year, but he had his 2 best years with Jacksonville. I don't think Evan Ingram is going to be bad with Denver. And their offensive line is elite. So, yeah, if that tells you anything, I think Broncos are going to beat ass this year. And they win. They obviously win this game too. Like they're that good.
Gotcha. Let me move on before we get on out of here. This game, the Vikings and the Lions, it's a Christmas Day matchup, Week 17. Your thoughts? The Vikings, they're transitioning with their quarterback, and Detroit, they made it to the finals, conference finals. Your thoughts on that game there?
Well, they'll have Jordan Addison back with the Vikings by then, so that'll be good. He'll actually be back for a couple weeks. The question mark is around J.J. McCarthy. I mean,
yes,
as much praise as I gave to Bo, I gave as much criticism to J.J. in the draft process. Max Brosmer, to me, looks like the better quarterback for the Vikings. To be completely honest with you, I think he might be the diamond in the rough quarterback. To say that this team relies on JJ more than JJ relies on the team is an understatement, in my opinion. The more put together team, the better team here is obviously the Lions, but their whole offensive and defensive philosophy has changed. Aaron Glenn left,
yep.
Ben Johnson left, and so who knows if they're going to look the same. I think the Vikings are built to stop the run. Harrison Smith should retire. I don't think he has anything else to prove. He's been on a downswing for the last 2 years. They didn't draft well for as far as corners. Is Aaron Jones going to be the same this year? I like Aaron Jones. I just don't know if when's his time to take a step back.
Right.
That offensive line hasn't been all that great. They got rid of Harrison Phillips, one of their better D tackles, when they've had D tackle issues. I have no idea why they traded him. That was ridiculous to me. And probably the strongest part of their team outside of receiver is their linebacking core. So, again, matchups, right? Who's the better defense? The Lions overall got a better defense. I think Terry Arnold is going to have an incredible year this year. They get Aiden Hutchinson back. Anzalone is a beast as well. Then you just go to the offense, and it's like killer after killer, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta's a top 3 tight end to me. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs might be fighting for the number 1 running back this year, at least in fantasy. But I don't see anybody in the open field that's going to be able to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. He may run for 300 yards in this game, to be completely honest with you. He's a beast. And when is Jared Goff going to regress too? They just got rid of Hendon Hooker, which I don't know if that blew your guys' mind. It blew my mind completely. I thought he was in their future plans for real.
He should have
yeah,
been. I didn't. Yeah, I couldn't tell me why he did that, because I didn't think the money was that nuts to where they had to get rid of him. But and I think Goff is doing well. I think he's coming to his own, and the offense that he's comfortable with. And again, he's really not asked to do a whole bunch with that cast around him. It's just to not throw the ball to the other team.
I compare Jared Goff to, like, when people start talking about who's a good quarterback and who's like the standard of like what a borderline elite quarterback should be, always compare Jared Goff. Like, if your quarterback's not a poor man's Jared Goff, then you don't have a good quarterback. You can't say that you have a great quarterback. It just is what it is. Like, he's literally like the gatekeeper of like being a good to great quarterback. That's where Jared Goff is, to me. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that, man. I think the Lions went against the Vikings handedly on Christmas Day.
Gotcha. I'm gonna ask you a couple other questions. Your thoughts on Cam Ward, the rookie, the one that's been picked. Draft.
Cam Ward, I think he had a better preseason than what people give him credit for. To be honest, I was a bigger fan of him at Washington. It was like when he was at Washington State, I was like, he's a good quarterback. He should get drafted somewhere. When he got to Miami, I was even more critical on him, and I was like, I don't think he's the number one. I think there's a couple other quarterbacks that are better. But I'm rooting for Cam, man, for the simple fact of like, it's more like a personal thing to me, which I don't like to bring personal reasons into why I like a player or not. But the way that he's conducted himself for the Titans, the way that he's not getting the media coverage for a number one overall pick is kind of ridiculous too.
It's
like
crazy.
He should be talked about more than he is, and it kind of pisses me off, honestly, how much coverage that a fifth rounder like Shador gets over a guy like Cam Ward. But I mean, we all know why that is, right?
Correct.
But it doesn't make it right. We should be spotlighting. I mean, when you're the number one overall pick, to me, you are the future that should be talked about right now. We should be putting you on a pedestal of what all number one picks after you should be expected to be. And they're not setting a really good example of like not talking about him. But I see his arm talent. I want to see it against number one defenses over and over and over again. Just like it when Shador played the Panthers second string defense, I was like, it's not moving the needle for me. Like, it's the Panthers. Like, what are we doing here? But Cam, on the other hand, he's made some incredible throws that were dropped this preseason. I'm like, okay, I see the arm talent. It's actually, I wanted to see if it translated over to the NFL, and it looks like it has.
Right.
But we'll know the first couple of weeks of the season if he can actually get away with some of those arm angles. If he can, I'm gonna be on the first one to say this. I'll be like, I was wrong about Cam Ward. I'll be the first one to make a video. But then also on the same tune, if he makes those throws that he was making in preseason against some of the better defenses in the league, he might have the best arm talent that we've seen since Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino. So I'm rooting for him though. I'm rooting for him. I'm not a huge fan of his play from what I've seen, but I'm rooting for him. I want to see him do well.
Got you. D-Dubs, you had something?
Hey, I do got something. You know, I always got to spin it back around to my New York Giants. Hey, what is your thoughts on Jackson Dart, real quick? I know, Cam, and I agree with you with the coverage. This legacy media has been insane. I mean, we know what it is, but it shouldn't be. But Jackson Dart,
independent people.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, his preseason games, from what I've seen, I'm a layman. He looked really good. Not good enough for me to start him, which I commend the Giants for not submitting to the pressure, or you know what I'm saying. So to start the youngin. So what's your thoughts on him?
Jackson Dart has looked incredible to preseason numbers wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he seems confident.
Yeah. Which
can be a good and a bad thing when you're a rookie, right? I mean, overconfidence with the having a Jameis Winston on your team when you're a rookie can either be a blessing or a curse for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm just be, he's going to be the ultimate fan of everybody, regardless if he's a starter or not.
Correct.
And so sometimes those sweet nothings that get whispered in your ear can make you seem like you're a better quarterback than you actually are. I commend Jackson, but he's another one that I'm like, he wasn't in my top 5. And that vanilla scheme that he was running where it was curl 9 route to Trey Harris. I don't know if that's going to translate over to the NFL. I have seen him make really, really good throws, though, this preseason. And even at their practice, I was like, man, it seems like they're working on a lot of short stuff, right?
Yes.
And I was like, wow, he's really starting to understand that like the short game is really important. A lot of slants, a lot of stick routes, drags, get the ball out quick.
The Tom Brady effect. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, is this going to translate over to the good defenses? Like,
correct.
Is that offensive line that's been suspect for the Giants going to hold up? Like
for decades, that's been so yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
Are the widers like it could be, and this is why I think Daniel Jones is going to be comeback player of the year because he's going to be in the best situation that he's ever been in, and if he fails, it's his own fault. And I'll say that Daniel Jones sucks, right?
I've already said it for you, but go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna watch. I'm watching Danny down closely, and I want to, just for my own personal, just be like, yo, I know what I see, and if he approved, God bless that man. But as far as with the Giants, he was driving me crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's like you're, it's like you're forcing a toddler to play with pros on his Pop Warner team. Like, if the toddler does bad, it's his own fault, right? Like. Right. There's no excuse of why you can't get these guys to be on the same page with you. But I'm a believer in Daniel Jones because I've seen some of those throws, man, that he's made, and I'm like, damn, that looked like the best throw in the NFL. But then again, how many coaches? 3 head coaches, 5 offensive coordinators, 2 bad injuries, broke his neck, had the worst offensive line in football. Receivers were always hurt. Even Saquon was always hurt. The defense was suspect. Like, to put all that blame on Daniel Jones, I think is completely unfair without the correct analysis. But
I agree.
Has he been bad? Yeah, he's been bad. But he has the biggest excuse ever to be comeback player of the year. But if he doesn't do it this year, then I think everybody can submit and put this dude in a casket and say, yeah, your career's done, buddy. Like, there's no reason you should do that.
You can't say he hasn't had the opportunity. So he's gotten the opportunity. So I wish him well and see what he does with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Jackson Dart, I don't think he's gonna have a career like Daniel Jones because of one guy. Malik Neighbors is on that team.
That's right.
Thomas Fadone, the second that you guys got from Nebraska, I think is gonna be an insane tight end in this league, man.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a little bit like, and people might. He just reminds me how, like you said,
Jeremy
Shockey, Bavaro kind of deal there. So yeah, go ahead.
Cam Scatterboo, hopefully he's healthy because I've been talking about him since he was at Sac State, man. It's funny, people come to our channel and be like, man, you was talking about him since Sacramento State. I love Cam Scatterboo, but I don't know if he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But it's still the offensive line that scares the shit out of me for you guys. You guys just haven't improved there. Like,
well, them and that wide receiver group, man. I looked at that wide receiver group. After you get past Neighbors, man, it's real shaky. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I hope Darius Slayton stays healthy. Like, I think he's underrated when he's healthy, but
extremely underrated.
Underrated, yeah, definitely. But then you got that Wan'Dale Robinson. You got some. I don't know. Just like I said, I pray that Neighbors stays healthy. If he stays healthy, there's no problems. We okay. But that wide receiver group is I don't know.
Yeah, shaky. So I'm not as hopeful of Jackson Dart as I am with Cam.
Okay.
Cam Ward. I just have to see it with Jackson. Okay. But I know I have a lot of buddies that are Giants fans, and they love Jackson. They love the moxie, and it's like that shit is all good and well.
That's cool, right? Yeah.
But like, until you get smacked in your face about Jalen Carter 3 times in a row,
exactly. And that's why I said, hey,
relax,
people. He doesn't need to start right away. Again, you listen to these guys on TV. Oh yeah, they should put him in right away. And what you got to lose? We got a lot to lose. These guys got their jobs to lose. These coaches, Joe Shine, you guys are on the hot seat for real. So they don't want. You got Russell Wilson, a quarterback that's been in the league for quite some time.
Super Bowl winner.
Yeah. Wow. What are we doing, man? Jackson Dart, if he's really good, he'll have his time to shine.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean Tyrone Tracy there. Devin Singletary, like your running backs are actually decent. And so
yeah.
I would say rely on your running game. Get these guys warmed up. Have him throw in the flats. Do a couple Texas routes. The Tyrone Tracy and see what he can do in the middle of the field. But I don't know. I don't believe in Brian Dable's system like everybody else does. And
really,
but
go ahead.
Yeah,
why?
But I don't think it's conducive for younger guys to like a Jackson Dart to be able to succeed because it's so complex, right? Like you're asking a guy like Jackson Dart who didn't come from a complex system under Lane Kiffin to now be able to read all these exotic defenses. Not only do you not practice against an exotic defense, like you're hoping that Abdul Carter can be the one, but like Deonte Banks is the only good defensive back that you have on your team, and Xavier McKinney, you guys let him walk, right? And I think you practice how you preach.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched them practice, the best part of your team was Malik Neighbors over and Tyrone Tracy. That was it. That's all that I saw. I'm like, damn. I was telling my wife, I'm like, their defense looks bad. Like Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and those guys, yeah, they're good, but I don't think Abdul Carter has looked all that fantastic. But that's me. But yeah, I just think Brian Dable's system is very complex. Like a guy like Bo Nix would have done better in his system. A guy like Michael Penix would have did better in Brian Dable's system. I think you guys missed the mark by not drafting Michael Penix, man. Like, I think he's like a Brian Dable like disciple because he can read defense as well. He can make all. Imagine Michael Penix and Malik Neighbors on the same team right now.
Wow. Yeah.
That could have been your Abdul Carter Jackson Dart if you guys were aggressive last year. It's like, why get aggressive this year? You guys could have been as aggressive last year and got Michael Penix and Malik Neighbors. So I don't know. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Dante, any surprises that you got this year? I know you said something earlier. Any other surprises you got for the 2025 season before we get out of here?
I know the talk around Caleb Williams is pretty big right now. Look,
as in
that he's going to have a really good year under Ben Johnson. And I don't think Ben Johnson would have mattered. I think Caleb Williams would have done good with just the offensive line that they had built, even with the old system that he was in. Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Geno Smith on paper last year. Caleb Williams, if he took all the quarterbacks in the history of quarterbacks that have won like offensive rookie of the year, he could have been an offensive rookie of the year candidate if it wasn't for Jayden Daniels or Bo Nix, statistics wise, which is kind of like fascinating to think about, but he wasn't bad. And I think one of the surprises is like Caleb might be a top 5 quarterback this year going under the radar. And people are like, what the hell? Like, yeah, he's looking like the number 1 pick. I think JJ McCarthy gets benched this year for Max Brosmer. I foresee that. I just foresee that happening. We talked about the cap. Yeah. I don't see what people see in JJ, man. He's
that Michigan.
Yeah. I think Dylan Gabriel takes over the starting job up there for Joe Flacco and has a really good season for them. But here's my sneaky one. I know we're talking about quarterbacks a lot.
Go ahead.
The sneaky one is I think Michael Penix Jr. may win MVP this year.
You heard it right here, folks.
Wow. That's good.
Hey, Twin Box, you hear that? Yeah. So
yeah, I think he's going to win MVP this year. To me, he's so far ahead of everybody. He's so far ahead of Bo to me. He's so far ahead of Jayden to me, which is kind of crazy to say because Jayden had the year that he had. But I'm talking about like between the ears, arm talent, leadership. Like when I was at that game, he was like standing by himself. He didn't want anybody around him while he was watching his guys work on the field.
Right.
And then as soon as they would come off, he'd grab them and, kind of get at them like, hey, man, do this, He was just like very animated on the sideline with those guys. Even when they were running plays, he was like, you should have thrown it there, or, throw the flag or whatever the case may be. I think he's just so locked into football right now that it's insane.
So you're basically saying that he's in pretty much leadership role now, which is good for him being in the sophomore year. So
24, 25-year-old, you would expect him with all that experience. Even with the injuries that Mike's had too, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think like him, Jayden, and Bo, they all had to deal with injuries. They all transferred to premier programs.
Mhm.
They all had success at those premier programs. And they're all like 24, 25 right now. That's why I think none of those guys are going to have a sophomore slump. They're going to step right into place and be just like if they're a fifth-year starter.
Wow. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Wow. Anything else? I'll go around the panel. Thank you, Dante, so much. Let me give Dante a round of applause. There you go. From the panel, Mike Mills, glad to have you back here tonight in the seat. What's going on, bro? What you got for us before we get out of here, man?
Ready for the season to start. A couple teams confuse me. The Vikings, like, I get it. You believe in J.J. McCarthy, but why trade Sam Howell? That made no sense. The Seahawks. The Seahawks confuse me. You get rid of Geno and you go get mid-man Sam Darnold. You don't want to pay DK, but you go get hurt man Cooper Kupp. They confuse me as well. So I see the Rams winning that division. Tua needs to retire because another headshot or two and he's done. And nobody wants to see him go out like that. He needs to just call it so the Dolphins can rebuild.
Yep.
And I'm going to be nice. I see the Giants winning 6 games. And that's it.
Thank you for being so gracious, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
D-Dubs, what you got for us before we get out of here, man?
Man, I got nothing, man. It's been great. Always enjoy having Dante on. It's gonna be interesting. I'm keeping some notes, man. Definitely with Daniel Jones. I'm looking at Daniel Jones. I'm looking at definitely. He said the Cowboys. So hey, shout outs to the Cowboys. Shout outs to that Netflix documentary. It was actually very, very, very good. Well put together. Kind of reminded me of The Last Dance. Jerry Jones is like the gift that keeps on giving, man. You gotta admire him for doing what he does, man. He just keeps on putting the Cowboys in front of us. And you know what? He's a very smart marketing businessman, man. I got nothing but mad love and respect for him because the way what he does for that organization. So he just keeps us intrigued, and he does it every year. And again, you see the Michael Parsons thing, and he's doing it just to do it. I honestly think he's going to pay the man, and it's just banter between the both of them, man. You see my Parsons laying on, they think he's sleeping or whatever. This is all show. Is great. It's great for the it's just good, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. So I'm definitely looking forward to them. Looking at them. Of course, the Giants. I'm always looking, to see. Thank you, Michael, for at least giving us 6 games this year.
Thank you, Mike.
I was, Dante, he kind of put a damper on me right now. So now I'm looking at Dable crazy right now. And I'm like, my man just said, I don't know about you. But, that's what you got to like about the NFL. And, it's so many avenues to go down. So, I'm looking forward to the start of the season. And, hopefully we have a good season. And, Kansas City, man, I don't know what's going to happen with them because they in love. The whole team is in love.
Stupid.
Women make your legs weak.
Yeah. Hey. So I don't know if they even make it out the AFC. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see though. But shout outs to everybody. Enjoy, and see you again.
Appreciate you, DA. What you got for us?
DA around?
DA sleep? DA, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, I'm here. It was a good show. Thanks, guys, for coming. I appreciate it. I'm excited for the new season. And we'll see what comes of it.
Especially
All right.
$50 million.
Yeah, that's too much money.
Yo,
I'm never wrong about these things.
I love starting with DA, man, but go ahead, man.
I understand his pain.
Yeah,
I felt the same way
I'm-
about Flacco when we paid him. I feel the same. I get you.
Yeah,
I'm right here
never
with
wrong
you.
about these things. So, especially with a team where Shanahan his MO is building a good team, and he said in interviews the quarterback don't matter. He said it, So, and I've seen it. So I've seen him do it without one. So, but it is what it is, man.
appreciate you, bro.
It is.
Appreciate
what
you,
it
bro.
is.
Dante, thank you so much. You always come through when I ask you to come through, man. I appreciate you as always. We probably have to have you come back for a mid-season report, man. See some of these things that you predicted. See what's going on with them, man. So we'll hook up and make that happen. But I appreciate you. You said something that was very notable also about the coverage before we get out of here about Cam Ward, and shout out to content creators like yourself and what we're doing here at the Sports Chasers, to bring light to some of these people that should be given the light, man. So, hey, my hats off to you, what you guys are doing over there at ECG, man, and keeping it going. Hey, don't forget to check out, those that are watching, don't forget to check out the documentary it should be premiering at 9:00 on the East Coast Gridiron channel. Make sure you check them out, man. So that's what I got, man. Dante, I'm going to let you have the last words before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. Just like I say every year, man, it's a luxury to watch football when you can. Remember that at the end of the day, these guys are human beings as well. So might be for our entertainment, but they are human beings. And, even like the Aaron Rodgers of the world, he might be a weirdo, but again,
human being.
His teammates feel a little differently about that. But, yeah, man, I can't wait for the season to get started. I know college football started last week.
Yes.
And then, Thursday we start back up with, some exciting games in week 1. So, and then the NFL will be here next week, right before we know it, with the Eagles and the Cowboys on Thursday night. So, but other than that, yeah, man, don't do anything I wouldn't do, especially when it comes to your money and betting.
I was just about to say that, and what Dante is saying is they're human beings, so don't be trying to threaten these people.
Threaten them. They be throwing. I don't hear that. Threaten them.
Yeah.
Jonte Porter, threaten them. Terry Rozier, threaten them. Threaten them. Don't threaten their family, just them.
You crazy, Mike. Dante, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I appreciate you guys always bringing me on and valuing my opinion when it comes to this. So yeah, that's it, man.
Appreciate you, man. And like you said, college football has started already. That was a very good game on Saturday in Ireland between those two teams, man. A very good game for week 0, man. So like you said, college football is here. The NFL will start up next Thursday, right? And hey, football's here, y'all. Football's here, and hey, enjoy the ride, man, till February. So it's here, man. Listen, we're going to get out of here. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren for the panel. This is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good, be great, be blessed. Hey, we'll catch y'all tomorrow night live. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.